Hi everybody, it's Carrie. If you guys don't know me, I'm Traveling Pony Studios, which is a small little crochet business. And today we're continuing on with Vlogmas. I fell behind and oh my gosh guys, I fell behind. What can I say? We're filming earlier today, so I don't know. I'm feeling like I could be a vampire. Like I'm feeling very pale, but got the Christmas stuff on. It is so funny. This material of this particular sweatshirt, like I hope I'm not giving away too much information, always makes me sweat. Like it's so soft, but for some reason it always makes me sweat, which in turn makes me cold, but it's like a very warm material. So it's so hit or miss with this because I'm like I'm warm, but at the same time I'm dripping sweat, but then at the same time I'm cold. So it's a little crazy up in this little sweatshirt thing, but I wanted to come on here and update you guys, of course, about some of the customs that I'm finishing up for Christmas. I'm doing quite well. I just have like a few things to get done. I'm really hoping that today I can get through like most of the things that I have, like one or two things that still need to be done. Like I have been saying for the longest time, I need to get done with the stitch, and like literally the only thing I need to do is crochet the second ear. I've got the first ear done and then sew it and put the felt eyes on, which I already have made, but I have not been able to convince myself to do that yet because that's pretty typical of me, that I am just like, girl, it can wait. So besides that, I'm actually doing quite well. I should have, like, I'm hoping 2-3 more things done today. It's 9:41 when I'm recording this because it's weird. It rained so much. Like we got 4 inches of rain over the last 2 days and my pastures are so wet. Like I have so much standing water, and for the most part, most of my horses are okay, but you know, they have their moments where they like to run around and act stupid, and like when it's not soaking wet outside, I don't particularly care because I'm like, okay, they're just having a good time. But there's so much water and mud on the pastures right now that like if they even barely moved, they would be like sliding. Like one of them, like I put him outside, it was my horse Sloan, and he just like stepped, like not even, just like walking, and just like left a skid mark in the ground. And I had another one that was just like absolutely losing her mind this morning, and her whole pasture looks like a swamp now. So I ended up actually bringing my horses in early. They're usually out from like 5:15 in the morning to like 11:30, but I ended up bringing them in, I think like around 8:30, something like that. So they went outside for like 2.5 hours, which is still really good because I have a feeling that like a lot of people did not put their horses out today because it is like so wet. And then tomorrow the weather is supposed to be nicer, so they'll go back out their normal time, but it's kind of thrown me in a loop because of course I didn't put them outside and now I'm inside, and then I need to go over there in a few minutes and feed them their lunch because things got messed up. Sorry guys, the background is different probably because I had to delete stuff from my camera, so I had to. But what I wanted to come on here is basically show you guys some of the things that I'm finished or like close to finishing. Like I said, I should be able to technically get done like a vast majority of my customs today, which is good because it's the 11th when I'm recording this, and I'm trying to get all of my shipped out items done today. So one of the horses that I'll show you is one that's being shipped. Now granted, the good thing is all of the ones that I have left to ship are all located in Georgia, so it's not like before when it was going to be being shipped like halfway across the country. These are all local, so I'm not really that worried. And like if push came to shove and if I had to, I could even drive some of these out and deliver them. I don't typically do that, but it's an option if someone wants to pay me like the money to drive. But I think I got most of them that need to be shipped. Like one of them, like I said, I have finished, so I'm going to figure out the shipping amount and then text that over so they can pay for the label, and then the other one doesn't get paid until the 13th. So in 2 days I should receive the final payment for that one and the shipping costs. So I'll be able to ship that one out on probably like the 13th or 14th. And then besides that, I think everything else is local. Now I have quite a few that still need to be picked up. Like, I've only had one person pick up their items. Everyone else is paid because this year I actually made people pay like upfront for their items. Last year I didn't, but like all of these items have been paid. They just haven't figured out when to come and get them. And I'm quite bad at like texting people and reminding people just because like that's not necessarily at the top of my mind all the time. So I'm assuming at some point people are gonna want to start to get their items. I've only had one item get picked up, and that's because they needed it like, I think this weekend or this past weekend. And then I have 2 items getting picked up today because they need it by Friday. But I'm just like, I've got all these items finished. They're literally sitting on my table over there by my Cricut because nobody's come and picked them up. So essentially, I'm hoping I should pretty much get most of these items done, where I only have, I think, 1 custom on my book left, and that's a Star Wars character. It's an acrylic yarn. And besides that, I should be pretty much done. I have been asked about taking on a few more customs that I think, depending upon the pattern, I probably will take on just like a handful more, especially if they're local. I don't mind if they're like local because then it's not as much of a hassle. I definitely won't take any more that need like shipping or anything. And I have lost so much of my back stock, guys, of my items. It is crazy. I had to restock all these stores, and of course stores are moving like a ton of plushies. Like, I brought in plushies yesterday to one of them, and they like text me and were like, oh, we sold like 5 items and it was like $200 worth of like plushies. And I was like, okay, that's great, but you have to notify me when things sell and like when things sell out, because I don't have the back stock. Like, two of my boxes are almost empty. Like, I just don't have back stock right now because all of the stores need something, and like remaking, you know, like tigers and elephants and all that stuff isn't my priority when I have all these customs to get through by the 25th. So that's been a little crazy too. But let's start. I'm gonna show you guys this one. This is the one that needs to be shipped. So right here I have this horse. Of course this pattern is by Crochet Grove. I think the other horse that I have is the same thing. It's by Crochet Grove. So I kind of got through the acrylic horses and then moved over to the Crochet Grove horses. This is another one that is a custom of somebody's horse, and it had like one little gray foot, some had like little whites. And so this is a custom of someone's horse. I actually typically send over photos when the horse is done and everything for approval, but this particular person is actually like, she bought it herself, sent me everything, but I'm shipping it to a family member's house so they can gift it to her. So she asked not to see the horse, which was what I figured. So I've got this guy. I'm gonna, once I'm done with everything, get everything calculated so I can ship him out. And luckily he is a local person, so it's not that big of a deal. These are the 2 little items that are being picked up today. Of course, this is just the standard little gingerbread man that I've been doing. I actually was supposed to meet this person at my last market, which was like, you know, 2 weeks ago, but things happened. It was absolutely crazy at that market, so she wasn't able to come to the table and everything. So we've been going back and forth trying to figure out a time for her to pick these guys up, and we finally did. So she's gonna pick them up, and I think I'm gonna go meet her at like 6 o'clock tonight so she can get them. But the funny thing was, I had like 1 gingerbread already done, and the stores were telling me that they had sold them all. So when things were being pushed back, I was like, okay, well, I'll just take this gingerbread, go give it to the store, and then I'll remake 2 of them for this order. Well, of course, when I got to the store, they had plenty of gingerbread man, but I had already given them the gingerbread, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get stuck with some of these Christmas items, I bet, until next year. So I had to remake both of them. It was fine. This isn't a pattern that takes particularly long for say. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but I do have these two, and then they'll get picked up this afternoon for their new home. This is my last acrylic horse that I ended up doing. I am planning on going back through and kind of cutting this mane potentially. I actually haven't yet, but maybe I'll leave it long and give them the choice. But this was my last acrylic horse that I had set on my books to do, and it was like a paint and everything. Now this is the one that you might have heard me complaining because I didn't use like a different yarn per se, but I don't know if the skein just was like a little bit thinner, so it ended up having like, the stitches aren't loose, but you can see a little bit more, which is really aggravating for me because I really try my best to have really tight stitches when working with acrylic yarn. So that was a little bit aggravating, but then when I sat down and was looking at it, I was like, okay, it's still stinking adorable. Lots of people who work in acrylic yarn, you're gonna have holes. Even the ones that I like really try my best to crochet super tight with acrylic, I still have holes. It doesn't matter if it's like a super small hook, it's just, it happens. So I was like, well, you know, I already got this far. It's cute. It matches the horse. I don't want to necessarily remake it because I just kind of wing it and look off a photo. So I didn't know if I'd be able to like remake it the same and as well. So we're going to go with this. It's still adorable. It's still good. It's just, I accidentally must have grabbed a skein that was like a little bit different from the other skein, but I should hopefully learn my lesson at one point because this is not the first time I've done that. It's just, I've done it before. So this is the first one, and I can't ship this out, or I can't have it for pickup until I get the stitch done because they're together. So that's what I'm saying. I need to get the stitch done since this one is now finished. Now we're moving on to I guess you could consider it Christmas. It's not really for Christmas. It's for somebody's nursery, but she just kind of contacted me around this time. And I've just been doing it because I've had time. I haven't been doing it like super quick because, like I said, she doesn't need it for Christmas, but I'm still getting it done, and I'm still gonna get it done before Christmas because that's just me. And she ordered 3 things. Now this is a returning customer of mine. Actually, I think like a month or 2 back, she bought a horse from me and then a cat. So this time I'm having the opportunity to make 3 little items for her nursery. Granted, this is not for her baby per se. These are for kind of like, I guess you would say, decor. So the first one I have is this little bear. This was a pattern I've never done before, but it was almost no sew. So I'm considering carrying this pattern over to my markets next year because shockingly, with all of my many animals, I don't have a bear. I know, crazy, right? So I have this little guy. Like I said, it was pretty much no sew. I think the only thing you sewed was like the head to the body, and then of course the embroidery nose. But it's turned out super cute. I used Honey Bunny for the like nougat or something. I think that's the one I used. Here's the second animal she ordered. So this is a fox. This is a little bit of a different style of fox than all the other foxes I've done, and it requires a ton of sewing. So let's just get that out of the way. I kind of read through the pattern when I originally got it for this, and I was like, yeah, maybe they crochet the arms into the body. Maybe they... No. There's not a single sewing in. You have to hand sew everything, which is, I mean, it's fine. I'm fine with it, especially for customs, but I was like, okay, this added a little bit of time that I did not factor in. Nothing against anyone else. It was a me thing, which is pretty common. So this is the little fox. Like I said, you basically like do it all. Like even this headpiece that you see here is hand sewn. It's not crocheted in. And then you do the little ears. Trying to see. And I did the little embroidery here to just give it a little personality, and you sew the nose on and everything. But I think it turned out super cute. I don't know if I would personally do it for markets per se, just because it was a lot of work, but I do think it turned out super cute. And I did this in Premiere. I have been working a lot in Premiere and Honey Bunny. Now I will say if someone orders me, like if someone orders, for example, like this fox where I know I'm having to work a lot in Premiere because of the orange and everything, if they order multiple other items and specifically because this person was like, I want them all to be kind of like around the same size, then I definitely keep like whatever yarn I have to use across all three. So in this case, I knew with the fox I was gonna have to use either Premier or Honey Bunny, so I ended up carrying that over. So right now for this order, like I still am working on one more thing, so I'm making a deer. And because of the fact that I use the Premier and everything, I'm using Honey Bunny, the Nougat or whatever for the body color, and then Premier for this chocolate color right here. So I try and keep it pretty consistent across the things. Then the last thing I have to update you guys on is I am almost done with the body of this Husky. So this was a pretty unusual Husky color, if I'm being honest. And it's just was kind of hard to translate over to crochet because it was like the same thing that happens sometimes with the horses is you have like a ton of roning. It was kind of that way with this black spot on the back. Like the back was black, but then it kind of pulled down the sides and you had like a lot of roning, and I was like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna look. So I ended up deciding to just do this black strap, like little thing down here, and then continue on with the kind of brown here, the white underbelly. The last part I have on this body to do is crocheting the legs. I just didn't quite feel like doing it yesterday night because I had spent a good deal of the day on getting the body done. I have done the ears, and then the last thing I have is the paws, and then the head. I am painting the eyes for this particular one, so I actually need to look. I don't know if I actually have glitter for any of the colors. I don't think I do because it's like light blue and then brown for the eyes. So I'm gonna do the sinker eyes and I'm gonna paint them for this particular custom, because when I saw that it was a Husky and then I saw the multicolor eyes, it was like, oh, I really think we should do it like this because it'll be a lot cuter and gives it more personality than just using the normal black safety eyes. So I think that's the plan for this one, and I'm hoping either to get it done today or tomorrow. I just have to decide how I feel, like how much energy I have. But I've done this particular like Husky pattern, not Husky pattern. I've done I think it was like a golden retriever version of this pattern, and I did it in Sweet Snuggles Light, and it was massive. Now granted, this was earlier on when I was crocheting, so it could have been just my whole tension and everything. This time I did it in Premiere, I think. Yeah, Parfait is what I mainly did this in, and I think it turned out a little bit better of a size. I mean, it's still like big, like all of these body type ones I feel like tend to be quite big, but it's not nearly as big as the other one I did, which was good because I was trying to figure out how I could kind of cut down a little bit of the expenses of doing this particular style of pattern, because between the yarn and the stuffing and all that type of stuff, it uses a lot of material. So I did it in Parfait and I still think it turned out super cute, and I have to give myself some credit. Look at these stitches, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Look at how uniformed and tight they are. Man, I have to give myself some credit sometimes. I get so like discouraged by my crocheting at points, and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes when I look at this and I'm like, not a single stitch is out of place. Maybe I should give a girl a pat on the shoulder. So that's what I've got right now for the customs. I'll try and update you guys probably later in the day and let you know where I'm at, if I got anything else done. There's the potential that might like go out to go Christmas shopping for my brother. So if that happens, who knows, but I don't think I'm gonna be riding for like a couple days, and it's supposed to rain again this weekend. So I just don't foresee myself really riding that much this week, which means that I just have a little bit more time to crochet. So I'll check in with you guys later. Good morning, everybody. What? Good morning. Did I just say that? I thought I was supposed to have recorded the ending the day before. Yes, everybody, I did not get around to recording that night to show you guys what I finished And technically I did not get the stitch done that day, but I am very proud and happy to announce that the stitch is done. I did it the next morning. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I definitely was doing something. I might have been finishing up the body of the Husky over there, but happy, proud to announce the stitch is done. So now I'm done with that order. I just need to take photos, which I was supposed to do yesterday and I didn't do. So got this one done, and yeah, I'm pretty much like, I think I only have the Husky to finish up, which I'm waiting for Amazon to deliver like the glitter and everything. It's supposed to arrive I think tomorrow, so then I can do the eyes and do the head. So everything, I got the body done, which of course was like the biggest part of it because it's just such a big body. I'm trying to think. I still have all the horses over there. No one's messaged me to pick them up, which it's the 13th, so they still have 12 days. And I got kind of this deer done, but I don't like it. I think I'm gonna have to change. I think like I need to pull its head down a little bit or change something. I don't know. I'm not 100% vibing with it, so I might have to redo this. It's pissing me off every time I look at it. I want to punch it. And then the last horse is over there to get sewn off, but it was just like I was trying to get a lot of things done yesterday, and one of the horses ended up getting like kind of sick and we had to have the vet out, so it kind of took up like 3 hours of my time. That just threw everything off, to be honest. And then I am pretty much doing pretty good on this Star Wars character. So from my understanding, a lot of this is actually crocheted. So I think in the end I'll have to sew the helmet, the arms, and then there's like this like breastplate thing that's like green, and then maybe like a little coat. But I definitely think this won't take too long. I got the like leg part of it done, so I'm pretty happy about that as well, because really this is the last custom that I agreed to do, besides if I like take on one more, but they're 2 horses and I haven't like agreed to do it. And then I do have a friend who wants 2 of her horses done, but she said it's fine for me to do it after Christmas. So I'm doing pretty good though. But I just wanted to come on here, film the outro, show you guys that I actually did convince myself to finish this stitch. Literally the only thing I had to do was crochet one more ear, sew the ears, and then glue the felt eyes on. But for whatever reason, I just was like, I really don't want to do this. Which does happen, admittedly. I do get that way. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is crochet this. So I got it done though. I give myself props. I finished it. And then I'll just do some final like tweaking, seeing if I need to reglue any spots, anything like that. But it still turned out pretty cute. And this pattern is by Crochet Grove, but you can't get it unless you're part of the Patreon, I believe, because that's how I got it. So don't quote me on that though. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. There's some fun things that could potentially be happening that will make me go crazy, but it'll be fun. So I'll see you next video. Bye.